Backup deck's pretty sick. So this is kind of a rethinking on Goryo's Vengeance a little bit. Trying to be faster, and in some ways more resilient too. So this is, I guess, Monument Goryos. I've been a little unsure what to call this one. Also tried to kind of look forward to like Mox Amber, Mox Opal package post shakeup here. Yeah, and of course, in some ways it's the classic Goryos build because you're in on like Goryo's your Griselbrand, and then you're in theory what you want to be doing is drawing a bunch of cards so that you can go Cookbook, or if you have Asmo in play, you can go Opal for red and then looting, and get Sheoldred in the yard. Goryo's the Sheoldred, and then you can draw like the rest of your deck, and then you can Goryo's your Borborygmos. But in like what also ends up happening a lot of the time is you Griselbrand, and then you just cast a Monument to Endurance, and then you discard the hand size, and then you get all of your Monument triggers, and then you're just in a really powerful position. And you also just have Sheoldred in your deck. You just have Sheoldred Monument to Endurance. You just have Asmo. You just have Urza Saga. You just have Thoughtseize for like nice plan Bs. And then you have, you can bring in the Shadowspear if you want to be pivoting to this post board. You have Pithing Needle for Artifacts, Graveyard Hate. You have Molten Collapse for Grafdigger's Cage, mostly, and also some of the 1-mana Artifact Hate, Withering Torment for enchantment-based Graveyard Hate, in addition to just Saga, Asmo, Monument, Sheoldred as resiliency, this is a big problem for like Rakdos Graveyard decks. Is like, opponent has Graveyard Hate, it's hard to deal with it, but not only can we deal with it pretty well, I think, in this build, but we also have just like lots of good plan Bs. Why Griselbrand over Track says the main Goryo's target. It's hard for me to express to you how much better it is in this deck, and like let me figure out how to do that. Griselbrand in this deck is going to draw you like 14, sometimes 21 cards, and you could use those 14, 21 cards to cast a bunch of MOXEN, get back Sheoldred, draw more cards, and then with all those cards, discard them to Borborygmos. Atraxa does like nothing close to that. Gonna keep this on 6. Need a land. Leading on this, we can go hopefully Saga Cookbook Monument on turn 3. Flute, Opal, and Monument weren't legal until after MH3. Not sure how you count those. Well, you definitely don't count them as MH3 cards at the very least. At least I don't. That's why I play versus Stony Silence. Lose mostly, or sometimes you can Goryo's your Griselbrand and get in there, just cast Sheoldred, but it's in Rakdos colors, you can like Thoughtseize it. I guess technically you could Withering Torment it, but certainly bad against Stony Silence. I didn't try Cauldron. I thought about Cauldron. I have played Cauldron and Sheoldred, Griselbrand, Shells before, and it's pretty cool to like Cauldron, Griselbrand onto Sheoldred. But and maybe like the first copy is still correct, but I was just worried about not having enough creatures to put the counter onto. Okay, so this is as good as a land, although I guess there's a problem that we can't cast the Monument this turn. So I think I would rather my Asmo get countered than my Mox Opal, because I just need to start casting these Monuments. Oh, so I guess I could just cast a Monument here, huh? Although if they counter the Opal, it's just really bad for me still. Interesting Force of Negation. Pitching Force of Negation. I didn't play my land yet. That was a fast Force of Negation, though. Interesting draw step stop, too. I think think we're chilling. I think it's I usually like to cast Asmo after they play a creature if I can. And they likely have counter magic or push up, so let's just go ahead and chill. So that's kind of interesting, Grove. Might be better than the Sunken Citadel stuff. Although it seems kind of tough for you to, like, how do you get double colorless without Temple? Phoenix for the 3 months, thank you, welcome back. Missing land drops forced it kind of made sense. Well, I hadn't missed a land drop yet, but I still could have played a land after playing the Opal. I agree that forcing makes sense. It makes some sense. It was one of those, like, I cast Asmo, tank, counterspell. Opal immediately counterspelled, which is kind of interesting. Do I like Kaito in these new blue-black decks? Honestly, not really. I don't think it's very good. It's like, okay. It might be good here against me, who's on stuck on 1 land. They made an emblem? Remember, the Kaito has hexproof, so we're not going to be able to kill it with the Asmo when it's a creature. A double waste to flare to get to double colorless. Double waste is pretty cool. Well, you were playing Scapeshift? I thought you had no mountains. Oh, you just cast it when you Dryad and play? I thought it drew cards. Yeah, it does draw cards. Puts in his Bowmaster 2 mystery cards, which also means that playing this monument isn't exactly going to be... I guess I could go take hit, monument, 6 damage, second monument, 12 damage. So I'm taking 4 this turn. They didn't plus this time. I saw your Sapphire turns list. Heavily recommend trying Exhaustion. No bolts. Have great testing so far. I mean, that's cool. Again, I don't know if you heard me say this, but I'm not very interested in Sapphire turns anymore. I'm not very interested in that version over the Eldrazi build. Also, if you play no bolts, you're like really, really weak to Bowmaster. Okay, that's a good pickup. Okay, that resolved. Thoughts on Necro build with Monument to take advantage of discarding down to 5? Yeah, that could be kind of interesting to play both. I agree. So I'm at 8, and then they plus this, and they can... This is 5 plus 2, which is 7. So it looks like unless they have a second Bowmaster, we live. Although I guess I could... If they have second Bowmaster, I could theoretically sack a food token. Oh my gosh, I forgot to deal them 3 on my turn. Although maybe that's not that big of a problem. Maybe I just want to... Maybe I think I actually am just making the treasure tokens here. Could theoretically cast Griselbrand, right? Oh, sorry. I would have had to make a treasure token on my turn. Sorry about that. I thought we were going to try to 6th in the cycle. Yeah, that's what I meant to, and then I lost my train of thought. As usual. Alright, so if they have the second Bowmaster, we're dead. It's not that so we win anyways if they don't have a counterspell for this monument. They didn't counterspell this monument last time. However, it could just be better for me to... So if I make a Concert token, I'm losing to a Fatal Push. They've already used 2 Fatal Push, so that's not very likely. I could make a treasure token, and I could sack a food going up to 4, and play a Saga. This Frog deck feels like the next tier 1 deck. It just wrecks Blink and Boros. This is a very interesting comment. I'm of the opinion that Frog is bad against Blink and Boros. I think that Blink and Boros are both pretty favored against Frog. Yeah, it does lose to the Kaito tap, so I guess our decision's kind of easy. Ever built a combo deck with Solemnity? You can combo with Bombardment plus Young Wolf plus Safehold. Yeah, it's just too many. If you want to combo with Young Wolf, you're a Yawgmoth deck, you know. I've not ever tried to play with it. It's just like so slow. It's like so slow. It does nothing individually, so you get picked apart so easily. The 9 lives thing is not that good either. Imagine getting Bowmastered. Imagine losing this game. Could not be me. Also, what's kind of cool is I don't think we showed them. Maybe some of the Goryo stuff got revealed to the Thoughtseize, but although maybe that Thoughteize was surveilled into the art. I can't remember. Either way, I'm going to bring in the Shadowspear. The Molten Collapses are kind of nice because they could kill like Nile Spellbomb in addition to their creatures. Don't know if it's like that important. We also have Asmo for their creatures. I think 1 Needle for Nile Spellbomb is probably something I want to be doing instead. Thoughtseize was failed early. Yeah, I couldn't remember. Yeah, I think I'm going to go down in Amber, down to Daredevil. Quick submit. Yeah, also good Needle Kaito. That's true. Why Borborygmos? So when you draw your deck with Griselbrand or Griselbrand Sheoldred, you have a way to win the game immediately. Also, funny enough, if you Borborygmos Goryo's Vengeance and you have a Monument in play, you get to trigger your Monument multiple times. So like, there's actually a little bit of extra fun synergy there. But that card is in here to win the game with. Okay, put it on the mold to 6. My goal with Borborygmos is to win the game. Okay, they mold to 6 on the play a Delta. Getting Spell Pierced? Consigned bait, probably, actually. I played against Titan with this deck yesterday, and I drew 21 cards with my Griselbrand on turn 2, and I didn't draw a single Mox. Or, no, sorry, I drew I did draw 1 single Mox. And that was so sad. All right, a little bit of surveil value there. We might actually get to do the, if we just draw Goryos, we might get to hit them with Monuments in play. That'd be pretty fun. It's got 4 cards in their hand. Maybe they have like a Surgical Extraction or Cling to Dust. Zabas with the 2 years. Thank you. Welcome back. Glad you liked the stream. Hope you're doing well. So there's a frog. Hopefully we can resolve our Monument. What time is the BNR announcement? It's next week, and then it's not really at a specific time. I'm not playing any looting. We have 4 lootings. That's what the red splash is for, just that card, really. I, Master Deck Builder, Aspiring Spike, have decided to put Faithless Looting in my Rakdos Goryos Daredevil deck. Monument deck. Does he do Snapcaster? No, I haven't seen new Snapcaster. My hopes are so high. Okay, Sun Pearl Kirin. When this enters, return 1 other non-land permanent you control to your hand. If it's a token, draw a card. If it's a token, draw a card? If it was anything, draw a card could be kind of interesting. The fact that it's 2 power is good for Cage, but worse than Pixie. I don't even always play Pixie. Songcrafter Mage. So, 4/2 flash. When it enters, target instant or sorcery gains Harmonize until end of turn equal to its mana cost. Huh. Oh, I get to trigger Monument to Endurance here. They took Ovalchase Daredevil? Dude, my opponent thinks this card sucks. they're like, dude, Monument to Endurance is the worst. I'm never countering it. I'm not doing anything to this card. All right, let's see if we find a Faithless Looting. Second Gore is pretty good. So I think that they took this Daredevil. Maybe they have some graveyard hate here. So it's possible we can bait that graveyard hate with this Mox Amber. No, okay. Well, I'm going to cast this Monument, and the next turn I can go, hopefully Goryo's my Bobo with double Monument in play. Okay, they can sign here. This card rules. So one thing is this card isn't very good with the card Counterspell, because or anything with without generic mana. This card rules. So Tarkir is like such a beautiful, awesome set, except for this new Ugin. I'm really excited for it, and at the very least, this new Ugin probably not the worst thing ever to try to hate out. Although maybe kind of close. I love this card. I really like this card. Wait, but where X is the power? Hold on, sorry. I forgot that this wasn't like Convoke. No, this card is kind of crazy. Okay, let me Goryo's my Bobo, and then we'll circle back to this. The fact that like if you could like target Time Warp and Time Warp for like just 2 extra mana is pretty cool. Okay, we do need to hit like at least 1 land here really badly. Well, maybe they have another Force or a Surgical. Probably not a Surgical, right? I think any land kills them here, so we get to look at just the top 3. Yeah, so any land hit off the Bobo will let me trigger the Monument to deal them 3 and then 2 from the Bobo. Or 3 from the Bobo. 3 from the Bobo, so that's lethal. Yeah, target Lord revealed. You're going to be main phasing this card a lot. This card's good, I think. It is Teamer, so like it's pretty restrictive in where you can play it, which is also kind of nice. Yeah, it should be able to tap itself. If it can't tap itself, this card's not very good, but I'm pretty sure it can. I really want to hit this land here. This would be such a cool way to win a game. Bobo, trigger, Monument to Endurance. This is pretty fun. Also put a Looting in the yard for value. Alright, 2-0ing Frog with this kind of deck's pretty good. It's pretty bad. Alright, one of the hands of all time. Let's mulligan. Alright, let's keep this one. I think we should be putting back the Opal so we can go Thoughtseize into turn 3 Monument, then loot. Have I seen there's a new Green Sun? I have not seen the new Green Sun, no. So there's a new Snapcaster and a new Green Sun today. I'm glad my YouTube video from last weekend ended up being kind of both the state of the format and MH3 retrospective, because this is going to be a long spoiler video. Search your library for a creature with mana value X or less. Put on the battlefield and shuffle. Okay, so this is notably this can get Asmo for 2 mana. Prismari Command and Teferi both line up pretty well against my Monument. I'm going to take the Command since it actually destroys the thing and can loot away for their Persist. They're probably playing Creativity, of course. So this is pretty interesting. This always costs quad green. They really wanted to play this one safe, which is good. If you played this in like an Asmo deck, you could get Asmo with it for 2 mana. And then if you got back Feasting Troll King, you could cast this for 4 mana and get another Feasting Troll King. Maybe that's not super good. I think we'll just surveil that for value. We can go Monument, then if they find the land, they can bounce with Teferi, and then we replay Monument, then we play Looting. Is it more interesting to put like a Traxxas from your deck or something with Nethergoyf? Well, I'll say that this, something like Nethergoyf is interesting, because what would have to happen? You have to have 4 green mana in your Nethergoyf deck. You'd have to have a 7-power Nethergoyf, and then you'd have to have a Traxxas in your deck. Are you going to play a Traxxas in your deck with no other way to cheat it into play? I don't think I would. So like to build a deck that way is a really, really high cost. Like this is not going to be, what I'm trying to say, I guess, is this is not going to be a good, reliable way to cheat something like a Griselbrand or an Atraxa into play. If that makes sense, like you would only ever do that if you were also like a Persist or a Goryo's deck, which is maybe possible, but if you were going to build the deck that way, it's kind of hard to also be. So I guess I'm going Yeah, we can go treasure token. Draw a card. Sorry, this turns a little bit too complicated. Yeah, get the cookbook. Play the cookbook. Pass. Knights of Sweet Revenge will make my green mana. Yeah, maybe. But like, I just don't think... What I'm basically saying is it seems unlikely that this is going to be your Goryo's Vengeance or your show and tell that's letting you cheat something big into play. All I'm trying to say. So they do discard an Archon, and we know they have Persist in their hand. So sack this, discard here. I want to draw a card, so if somehow they can make me discard another card, we still have the Goryos. And I'm also probably just going to like discard this and make a treasure token. Like whatever this card is. Although I guess what I have drawn is basically a treasure token. But it's I think I'd rather have a food, so I can find an Asmo and kill this. Maybe it goes in your green-black Archon deck. Yeah, maybe. I could see that. I think you would almost always want to play this new green sun with Asmo, though. So, like, just for 2 mana, it does something pretty good. Okay, so let's target the Griselbrand. Unfortunately, we're at 14. Maybe I could sack a food token to, like, draw 7 more cards. Although they also have a Bolt, so I guess that's not really going to be an option. Do I care about this Teferi? Let me just draw 7 first, I guess. Okay, so I found a Sheoldred. That's pretty good. If they have double bolt, it's not as good. But let's attack them. Oh, wait. Oh, no. I should have played Sheoldred first because now they can bolt my Griselbrand. I guess this is only if they block with Archon. So that's not the end of the world. They also have a second Persist. So play Saga. Cast Sheoldred. They bolt this in response. So we draw 7. There's a Borborygmos, but not a 3rd copy of Goryo's. So I could intentionally choose to not play around a second Lightning Bolt. We know one of my opponent's 3 cards in hand is a Persist. We don't know either of the other 2. It's not Galvanic Discharge, because they would have discharged, although I don't think that information is that relevant. I think I'm just going to let this go. I think that I feel like I'm in a comfortable enough position here to not risk... So what I could do, I guess maybe this isn't clear. I could go make a treasure token, sack a food, and draw 7 more cards. But I don't want to do that. Okay, I'm going to go and discard Daredevil, and I'm going to draw a card, gain 2. Another Mox Opal. It's a lot of Mox Opals. Can I cast Bobo? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. 1 treasure token. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And Bobo cost 8. That would have been pretty cool. All of my remaining cookbooks are in my hand. You can loot for a Goryo. I could flashback looting looking for a Goryo. But I think instead I just want to cast my cookbooks. And this way I'm going to be able to discard to hand size. Although maybe I'm not going to be able to discard to hand size if I go Mox Opal Cookbook, I only have 7 in my hand. I was thinking I wanted to discard to hand size to get the other 2 modes, so... Yeah, I guess I'll just go now, discard to hand size. Get my other 2 monument triggers, then I can get 2 monument triggers on my opponent's turn with possibly 2 Asmo activations. Glad you liked its solar system. I agree. I think it turned out pretty well. Huh. Not too often you get to discard the same card twice on the same cleanup step. So now they can go instant speed persist if they want. And they play another copy of Fund Raveler. And they try to target my Sheoldred, so let's go ahead and discard. Don't really need the 4th cookbook since we only triggering the monument 3 times a turn. We'll draw a card, which will let us gain 2 off the Sheoldred. We find a looting. And it doesn't seem like there's much reason to tap the other cookbook right now. Kind of close between making a treasure token and making them lose 3. I think I'm going to go for treasure token. We just have so much action that the extra mana I think is worth more here, especially because we have the Bobo that we can or try to hardcast. So the treasure token's a bit more valuable because of that. So I have 2 treasure tokens, 2 Mox, and 8 lands. They have a persist that they're going to cast at instant speed, but then I'm going to kill the Archon with my Asmo. So we'll take this up to 2. And why don't we just go ahead and force that action here? Just go ahead and attack the Teferi. Instead, they go for Galvanic Discharge, which is pretty bad for me. So Monument represents 3 damage, down to 13. They're going to fetch down to 12. So I would need 4 lands in my hand to kill them with Bobo. I guess I made a mistake discarding land. Let me go to just start off by casting a Looting. I know we're missing out on some Sheoldred value, but the problem is they're just going to persist, kill the Sheoldred. Here's another land. Discard these 2. Let's go draw a card, make a treasure token. They minus Teferi. They had another Teferi that they had already plussed. Okay, there's another Asmo, thankfully. So do I go cast Asmo, cast Bobo? Casting Bobo means I could discard 1 card on my turn and 1 card on my... I could discard a hand size and hit them for 3. Then I could go discard, hit them for 3 more, so that's 10. Then 3 from the Bobo down to 7. And then if I hit a land off of that, it's close. Definitely close. It kind of seems to me instead what we should do is just play this a little bit slower because we have the other Sheoldred. Just Thoughtseize the Persist. Well, I've got 11 cards in my hand, so I just gotta think these turns out, I guess. Interesting that they didn't get a Dwarven Mine here. Thank you, Brave Guy, for the 2 years. I did land on the Thoughtseize, but again, it just takes some time to to figure out the line, I guess. Let's go ahead and kill this before I forget. I've already used all 3 of my... We also have just not seen another monument. But we'll just play the second Saga. I know it's a land for Bobo, but it's also a Saga. And then next turn we can... I guess we'll just go on Upkeep. Triple monument trigger. So Blanks in the chat has said Cascade is back, which could only be mean good things. Feeling pretty good about our position, though. It's Discover 8. Okay, so Mox McGee, thank you for the 3 months. Breaching Dragonstorm. When this enters, exile from the top of your library to exile a non-land card. You may cast that spell without paying its mana cost if that spell mana value is 8 or less. If you don't, put that card into your hand. When a dragon enters, return this enchantment to your hand. Okay, well this card rules, I think. 8 or less. Hey, how much mana is the card that says cast dragons for free from your hand? Is that card 8 or less? That card sucks. Well, let's say this. If you spend 5 mana to cast an 8 mana spell, that's a good thing to do. Don't know if I care about Torpor Orb. I don't know if I want to bring in any card. Orb turns off my Asmo ETB, which kind of stinks. They probably bring in Trasty. Just play 1. Spend 5 mana to draw and cast Ugin for free. Yeah, like that again. Something like that would be pretty good. Is Ugin the best thing? I don't know. You could also cast Griselbrand, Atraxa. I did see the Temur Snapcaster. That card's pretty good. Am I going to stack my deck with a density of high mana cards? No. I mean, not necessarily, but listen, let's read the card and let's think about it a little bit before going, this card sucks, because we've determined that if you can cast an 8 mana value card for 5 mana, that's pretty good. And it doesn't have to be from your hand either. So this is if you cast this and you cast an 8-drop, that is a strong thing to do. And that's we don't need to go too much deeper than this. Too bad Atrax is not a dragon. Looks like a Glimpse card. Yeah, Glimpse could be a good application for this. The fact that it doesn't put Omniscience into play is worse. The Dragonstorm card is 8 mana. That's cool. Pretty cool. Also, you can just cast the dragon that does have Storm, the new card from this set. Like this casts the card. So the fact that you can go ritual, just try to hit that card, and then it's an extra Storm count is pretty nice. It's if you're casting that card, this is really good too. So yeah, I mean, I will definitely be cooking with this one. It chains itself. Okay, so you can hit this into that into the other. I'll say I'm starting to really think that Wizards knew what they were doing when they didn't print a red MDFC that's really good to cast for free between this card and Capricious Hellraiser. Hellraiser also kind of interesting in this kind of shell. They do somewhat similar things. I know I'm a little bit Hellraiser pilled. You have to excuse me. Would it work with K-Command and second Eldrazi? Could, yeah. Could. Although everything's good with K-Command, you have to remember. Yeah, Tarkir is, it almost feels like they're kind of, ramping with these standard sets. It feels like every standard set has been, a little bit more exciting than the one previously. Although this one is maybe a lot more exciting. Enchantress, this, and Emrakul. It only casts mana value 8 or less, so it can't cast Emrakul. Can cast Velomachus. Dude, people... I think Velomachus gamers, I'm going to put them in the stock up Witherbloom command camp, because they just started casting Velomachus and they never stopped. Velomachus. Any interest in playing Legacy before the announcement? When is the Legacy showcase? I guess I have wedding cake tasting this weekend, so I don't know if I can play a tournament this weekend, but if the Legacy Showcase challenge is this weekend, I might play it. I don't see it. When Temur Snapcaster, can you cast Rhinos for 0? I'm not sure. Aether Drift flavor-wise was really thin, even if the card design was great. Yeah, I mean, on this channel, we don't talk about flavor very much. I'm only talking about design ever. That's just my area of expertise and interest. K-testing was my second favorite part of wedding planning. What was your first? Might have Prismari command. Have I seen Nature's Rhythm yet? It seems kind of as close to get to Colorless Zenith you've been wanting. Is that the green? That like that? Yeah, I think I've seen that one. It's kind of interesting. Gab, thanks for the raid. Hope you're having a good day today. Welcome all the yellow hatters. So they do have the Prismari command. You can't harmonize Footfalls for some reason. You can't flashback it. Yeah, that makes sense. I just hadn't read the text super close, I guess. Okay, so we're going to be able to... Okay, they discarded 2 Archon of Cruelties. So that is something. At the very least, we can kill one. If they persist it, and if they go for creativity off of a Dwarven Mine, we can kill the Dwarven Mine token. Everyone loves Tarkir for a reason. Yeah, I'm excited to go back to Tarkir. Tarkir was my 3rd ever block, and it's cool to be returning. All right, so if they have double persist, we may be going to game 3. Yeah, it was quite the turn. Really popped off there. We can cast Sheoldred and Cookbook, assuming nothing changes this turn. Okay, something has changed. Win test wedding cake. Am I going to focus solely on design or real flavor factor there? I'll let you know. I'm not sure yet. So I think we go draw a card into potentially cast this Cookbook treasure token. Interesting. Yeah, I think I just do want the extra treasure token because I might be able to hardcast Griselbrand next turn. Just kind of bad because this land is tapped. Because this is 5, 6, so there'll be 7 off the Cookbook. And so I will need an untapped land on my draw step or my Cookbook, my monument draw next turn. Oh wait, I could just make another treasure on my turn next turn. Yeah, I'm not going to go through just the full Magic spoiler. Wait, is the whole Magic spoiler out? Also, if there's maintenance on Wednesday, I guess I can do my spoiler video then. Yeah, we looked at Nature's Rhythm. That's definitely one to cook with. Probably a green Asmo card. It's not clear that it's better than Finale of Devastation, because like Finale of Devastation, it was really cool that it was a combination enabler and win condition. Maybe play both. It's kind of cool that you can like get back Feasting Troll King with this card, and you can get back Feasting Troll King, and then you can go cast this and attack with the Troll King, cast this for 4 mana, and they get another Feasting Troll King, put it into play. Not the craziest thing ever, but like if you're already putting it in your Asmo deck and you have Troll King, it sure is something you can do. They have Prismari command again. Dude, Prismari command is so good against me. It pairs extremely well with Fanatic of Ronus as a card and deck style. So I guess I didn't play around this that well. I agree it pairs well. Okay, maybe we'll just get bailed out a little bit here. Alright, so I have 4, 5 mana. Well, if we need to find Goryos, we still have some looks at it here. Seems I did some miscalculating, though. Alright, let's go. I think I'm going to go for... Yeah, Sheoldred into looting here. Like, if we find Goryos, this is still better, because then we get to Goryo's Griselbrand with Sheoldred in play, and also finding Asmos really could be quite nice, and we get to gain this extra life. There's not a huge chance, I guess, that I want to still have the Griselbrand in the hand, but we're about to cast another looting, so if we want it out of the hand, we can still do that. Although it looks like we are not going to have the ability to cast a Sorry, I keep losing my train of thought. Cast a Goryos anymore. So I guess we grab Ovalchase Daredevil back with this, and then we can make 2 more foods, and we can gain 3 life, which we might as well just do main phase so we could have 6. Our life total is pretty high. It's gonna be 19 down to 9. Your turn. I guess next turn we could get back Asmo too. Cool to be like bad. Oh, sorry. Missed that I could make 1 more food token. I was letting the dogs inside. Yeah, this card seems great. I really, really like this card. I'm really into this one. This is maybe my favorite card for the new set. Probably not the best one, but oh man, this card rules. Oh no, there's a lot more Archons in play. I think I could kill all of them though. And now there's no Archons left in the deck, so they'd have to find 3rd Persist. Or Bolt, I guess. I just drew Asmo for turn. Which is a bit weird, because I don't have anything to discard from hand. I guess I can just go Flashback Looting, though. Okay, that's some pretty good value. So if they have a Galvanic Discharge, that would stink. I guess it's going to end up being better for me to discard this to the cookbook so that I can not die to a lightning bolt. I have exactly enough to kill the Archons and gain 3, so nice I didn't miss out too much from not making that 1 extra food token while I was letting the dogs back in. That card is just Grizzly Bear with upside. This card is 2 mana, 2/2 Trample Haste. That makes another 2/2 Trample Haste every turn. And they also have Prowess. So 2 mana, 2/2 Trample Haste Prowess. That makes another one every turn. So to call this Grizzly Bear with upside, I suppose is technically true, but it's like, if you put enough upside on a Grizzly Bear, Trample Haste Prowess, and another one every single turn, and works with Mox Opal and Stoneforge Mystic, and also doesn't die to creature removal, that might be enough upside to play Grizzly Bear. If you put enough upside on Grizzly Bear, it's good. You guys know you get more than 1 turn in Magic the Gathering also. I don't know if people know that one. Okay, Meltdown is pretty good here. We also see Leyline of the Void, so I guess I'm bringing in some Withering Torments for game 3. Is that all my cookbooks? That is all my cookbooks. We haven't drawn an Goryos yet, though. Oh, whoops. Not the way I play. I feel like what's that one meme? It's like, you guys don't have turns? You guys don't have phones? I think I should Thoughtseize. So presumably their creativity is dead. So I'm going to take the Meltdown. Yeah, the card is very similar to Monastery Mentor. Yeah, we talked about the Temur Snapcaster Mage. That card looks good. Yeah, we're playing Borborygmos because it wins us the game. Is the main reason. Kind of the only reason. So there's a Goryo. Yeah, so so the idea is that you're playing 8 MOXEN. Oh, come on, counterspell. No. You're playing 8 MOXEN in this build, so when you Goryos or Griselbrand, you get to draw 14, sometimes 21 cards, and make a lot of mana. And with that mana, you can sometimes Goryo Sheoldred on that same turn, And if you do that, you can sometimes draw the majority of your deck. And when you do that, you can Goryo's Borborygmos and win the game. Also, Borborygmos, like, we won a game, we won last match because we Goryo's Borborygmos with Monument in play, and we just discarded the land to trigger Monument to win the game, which is pretty funny. Dead to removal spell. Interesting that they're copying the Shaman. Maybe they drew a bolt. I would be to do a bolt on the Asmo or on my face, so it's not like this is any different, I guess. Notably, I can't make any more food tokens because all my cookbooks are dead, so maybe that's what they're thinking here. Alright, yeah, we could have bolted the Asmo, not any different, of course. There's another Goryo's there. Close game. Okay, we saw that they have Leyline, so I'm going to bring in these Withering Torments. I'm going to go down to Amber, click submit. Yeah, I didn't read that they were muted. I'm going to go use the restroom, though.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
We got to get Spike to play Creativity X2 to get Monument and Borborygmos. Yeah, you can also get Leveler, Thassa's Oracle, but that does sound sweeter. Got to mulligan this. Gonna keep this one. Let's put back the Opal, I think. Uh-oh, they have a Leyline. Dang it. Well, we do have a couple answers to that. They have a 7-card Leyline hand. I did not consider Necrotic Ooze. If I was going to play Necrotic Ooze, I'd almost definitely play Agatha's Soul Cauldron instead. First Cauldron could be good. I just don't know what I would want to cut for it, I guess. Yeah, I've thought a little bit about Blue-Red Leveler Oracle. You would have to play... the problem is, of course, if you draw one of them. So you have to play like a bunch of Valakut Awakenings to shuffle them back in, probably. Can we play Jace? Since Jace is getting a bit better. So good that our constructs are going to be pretty real threats here. Obviously, if they have like Leyline into Bolt, into like Prismari Command, into Creativity, we're probably not going to win. Yeah, maybe Brain Surge instead. What about Fair, Creativity, Find Cookbooks, and Monuments in this shell? That's not that interesting, I guess. Especially because, like, are you going to cut Mox Opal? Otherwise, you hit Mox Opal. Like, Fair Creativity just isn't that good a strategy if you're, like, for 5 mana to put, like, 4 mana value of stuff into play. Kyla's Reconstruction is probably better at doing that anyways. Probably kept Leyline, Meltdown, 4 lands. That's an interesting theory. They've played an untapped Sacred Foundry, which I don't even know what that's implying. Now, I'm pretty committed to making a Saga token, and it's kind of nice I can go Saga token, maybe Thoughtseize and Meltdown. This could maybe be Leyline Binding. We haven't seen a Binding yet. Ah, the Deuce. So that stops me from Asmoing them off of Creativity, I guess. Ooze does make you more resilient to removal than Cauldron, though, right? I mean, it can. Cauldron's pretty resilient to removal in general. Kind of nice 4-mana Griselbrand. That's also Bobo. Yeah, I mean, maybe. You can play it if you want to. You can play it if you want to. You can leave your friends behind. Thought about tapping the cookbook to like stop them from bolting the construct, but instead I just like leave up the cookbook tap, and maybe they make a mistake. Interesting. Operion with the 17 months. Sebastian with the 9. Hope you're doing well. I'll play this Opal just in case they have Bolt. They can't keep me off Construct. We'll see what the damage is. Okay. Faithless Looting and Prismari Command. All right, that's a beatable hand. Oh no, I forgot to float mana off the Amber. I guess I'll just cast the Cookbook then. Not really that different between like 7 and 8 damage off of this construct, right? I guess it was 8 and then went down to 6, and then they creativity a clue token into play this next turn. They would be then at 10 and then or 9. Then this is dead, and then this is I don't think I could get this up to big enough to like force the chump block. They make a dwarf token. They cast a Faithless Looting. Obviously, it all rides or dies on this looting. Thanks again to Perion and Sebastian. They're not immediately doing anything, so that's good news. They discard 2 lands. I think that we saw triple Dwarven Mine, so 2 of these lands were freshly drawn. Then they sack the clue token. Probably not much. I guess I could find Meltdown X equals 0. That would be good. They give us the GGs. Lucky game to win. That game 2 is also like such a good game. Tutors, happy 3 years. Thank you. Welcome back, my friend. Good to see you. Here, they decided to mold the 6. Keep our 7. Definitely a bit happier keeping this against a mulligan. Nadu being underpowered in Legacy is crazy to think about. Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about what's going on in Legacy. What is Nadu bad against? Just wondering. Should I run a Traxxas or a 3rd Sheoldred in place of Borborygmos when I play this tonight? I'm not... losing Borborygmos is tough. I'm really not sure how I would build the deck sans Borborygmos. I don't think a Traxxas is good in the deck for whatever that's worth, so... You know, that's between you and Clothis. This is a good draw. Pretty scared of a Stubborn Denial. Get to surveil this turn too. Yeah, instead of Borborygmos, play Borborygmos Enraged. Speaking of Image 2, can we unban Fury and Grief? Honestly, I do wonder what the format would look like with Fury. I'm not sad Grief is gone though. This Saga's not so bad. I don't think it's enough though. I want KC back. I mean, everybody has like 1 or 2 broken old cards that they want back really badly. Oh, I gotta discard this. So I can hopefully draw 21. Maybe a little bit risky against a possible Lightning Bolt. For me, like, I mean, Twin has long since not broken. There's lots of cards on the Modern ban list I would have a lot of fun with that I, advocate against. All right, let's we have a Griselbrand in play. Let's focus on this, I guess. Okay, so there's a Sheoldred with a Cookbook and a Goryos, so I can go fetch Cookbook, Goryos, Mox, Sheoldred, and then I can draw most of my deck here. What broken old cards do I want back? So like my dark desires of my heart, what like Mystic Sanctuary, all like the Mystic Sanctuary, Dig Through Time, and Treasure Cruise, and Uro. It's like I'm a blue player, guys. I want these busted spells back, but I know I can't. I must not give in to these evil thoughts. So to the Borborygmos player, or the person who said they were going to cut Borborygmos, consider that you just can't win the game in turns like this. Yeah, Ponder. So for me, I'm interested in unbanning Jitte, Birthing Pod, Ponder, Deathrite Shaman. Goryos and Incept so can block. This is better because we can win the game right now. That's the main reason, is just winning the game. Yeah, I thought about Shaman. I just don't. I was worried about not having enough creatures to target with the Cauldron. The first copy seems like it's likely pretty solid. Ponder, no. I mean, I don't think Ponder would be very dangerous, but my biggest issue with Ponder is that turns can just take so long with Ponder in play. But like Preordained sees almost no play. I think Ponder would be fine. Could play one Thoracle instead. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be that good at winning the game. Borborygmos is way better, but if you just don't have one, you know, you can figure it out. Do I not have another cookbook? You can go cast Asmo, get cookbook, or cast Asmo, cast looting in these situations, but I don't have enough MOXEN, so we'll draw 7 more. Why is Borborygmos so good? Give me a second. I gotta draw 40 cards first, and I'll show you. Yeah, I could Thoughtseize ourselves. That's true. But it wins the game, and then in addition to Thassa's Oracle, which you might have, you might not be able to win the game here, right? Because you have to get down to 2 cards. Borborygmos also, like, if you just Goryo's Borborygmos early, it's fine, especially when you have Monument in play. When you have Monument in play, it's like actually pretty dang reasonable. But yeah, this is the problem is if you don't own a Borborygmos Enraged, winning the game on these turns is pretty tough, and being able to win the game on these kind of turns I think is pretty important. Okay, so let's bring in the Shadowspear. They're a Rest in Peace deck usually, so I guess we have to bring in the Withering Torments and not feel great about that. I don't think Molten Collapse is great against them. I think I'm going to go down to Thoughtseize and Amber and a Daredevil and click Submit. I didn't realize Borborygmos is a real card. You're definitely the first person in Magic history to not realize that. That when you say the word Borborygmos with something like a Meddling Mage or a Disruptor Flute or a Surgical Extraction, I guess not Surgical Extraction, that there's a card called Borborygmos and a card called Borborygmos Enraged. So if you say Borborygmos, that's a different card. First person. This hand is beautiful. We get to go turn 1 cookbook, discard Griselbrand, Opal, Asmo, and have Amber for the second cookbook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spells on turn 1. Then try any alternate builds going on Cauldron instead of Goryo's. Goryo's is basically always going to be better, but you could play like 1 Cauldron or 2 Cauldrons. Isn't Feed the Swarm better than Withering Torment? I don't think so. If you think so, you could play it instead. 3 mana instant speed, only losing 2 life, I think is pretty nice. I think I kind of just like the value the instant speed instead, I guess. So I guess we're casting a Thoughtseize probably instead of second cookbook. Try to play around Rest in Peace. It's bad if they have 2 removal spells, maybe, but it's not so bad. It's not like I'm dying to like discard my Monument or Thoughtseize and get rid of the Ragavan anyways. Turn 1. Turn 1. They have a Lightning Bolt, a Flames, and a Kavu. And a Stubborn Denial. I guess we'll just hope they don't have a land on top and take the bolts. Yeah, play 6 cards and discard a Griselbrand. Okay, so if we play the Monument, we get Stubborn Denialed. Backup Asmo does seem reasonable here, because they have the Flames. So yeah, we'll keep that on top. And then if they flames my Ragavan, we'll have to do some thinking. We'll just see what happens. I'm wondering if there's anything meaningful to be done with the Dragon Mox. I think that there's some stuff. Like there is like a Changeling combo deck that like gets to now play that and Mox Opal and maybe some Mox Ambers too. But for the most part, I don't expect that card to do much. Okay, so they're casting the Flames. So if the Ragavan connects, they get to flip over the Asmo. So I guess that's just the non-starter here. So we go discard, make a food, kill the Ragavan. The next turn we can go. Oh, also the Stubborn Denial would be up, and this Amber would be offline. But now I can go cast Monument to Endurance. The next turn I can go discard whatever card I draw a new card, and then cast the Asmo. Why not play Monument? We know they have a Stubborn Denial in their hand. So they're probably going to play Kavu here. Their hand is Stub, Mystery Card, Mystery Card. Draw another copy of Griselbrand. Not a bad one to discard, although we already have one in the yard, I guess. Draw a card. So if they have another removal spell as their last card, it could be kind of bad for me to discard this on their turn. Because what I want to do is I want to discard the Swamp on my opponent's turn to draw another card and start to like sift through my deck a little bit. But if their mystery card is a Leyline Binding or a Lightning Bolt, it's pretty tough. Now, my opponent, I Thoughtseize them, and then they didn't Lightning Bolt and they didn't Binding after that. So we know one of their two mystery cards is definitely not a Bolt or a Binding. The other one could be. I think I'm gonna go for the card drawn. Well, you know what? Let's just not. I think that we're actually just ahead enough that this is going to be a spot where, like, the way we lose this game is really just to that one mystery card being a Bolt or a Binding. Interesting choice, though. Another Kavu. So her hand is Stub, mystery card. I'm pretty sure I just always loot in this situation. It's a little weird. Okay, so getting the Daredevil's nice. We'll go treasure token, draw a card, because the treasure token gives me back the Daredevil. Then could flashback looting for the 3 damage. Seems okay. Could also find a Goryo's and just cast it. Although they have the Stub, I guess. So if I cast the Monument here, it gets stubbed, which is kind of a problemo. Also, if they stub my cookbook, it's also not great. So I guess I'm just discarding these two, dealing them 3. And then I'm going to discard the cookbook in their upkeep here. And then this is fine if that mystery card is a Bolt, which it kind of can't be, but yeah, it's actually not even relevant to talk about because they have the mana. Yeah, I haven't tested Gardens in this kind of shell. It's been brought up a lot, and it's like we have this build, we have the more aggressive build with Inti and Marco Sharko and Galvanic Blast. Now, I haven't tried it yet, but I would encourage you to try it if you think it's optimal. I just personally haven't gotten around to it. It's obviously has really high upside, but extra colorless sources make things kind of weird. All right, gotta make one more food. I'm gonna go for treasure token here. I think I just want to be able to like cast a Griselbrand if I draw one. We also can we can kill them next turn cycle anyways with attacking with Asmo and double monument triggers. So like 6 on my turn, 6 on their turn, and 3 from Asmo. So it's not like missing out on 3 damage here. It seems to matter at all. And they concede. Nice. We're 3-0. Let's get a trophy prediction going. I'm gonna keep this hand. I think Asmo's like gonna be pretty good. Asmo double Thoughtseize will be pretty good against that. Sheoldred also obviously 1 land. Oh, the problem with the Titan Loops, I guess. A little bit hard for me to see. Again, the Titan Loops is more of a paper thing, of course. Was Image 3 Soren a consideration? The problem with Image 3 Soren is that you're basically always attacking with Griselbrand before like you do anything, and so if that's the case, okay, I was right about what deck they're playing. Thank you, companions, for informing my mulligan decisions. If that's the case, then okay, interesting draw. Then the Soren's not going to really do anything for you. Has Bowmaster in response to Griselbrand activation happened yet? Not today. I don't remember Overlord being in that build we saw. Detectives Phoenix. Okay, it's probably not the Necro build there. So Mardu Obosh with the Detectives Phoenix tech, which is tech that I've liked for sure. They have a Solitude, so we're gonna attack first. Certainly need to draw a land or a Mox Opal. Interesting. Definitely taking Ketrabos. What do you think about Skull Clamp Unbanned? Skull Clamp Unbanned seems really not safe to me. I admittedly have played very little with Skull Clamp, just in Cube, like most people, but it certainly does not seem like a reasonable unban. So they get back Ketramos. Play as Marsh Flats. Next BNR is 1 week from today. Yeah, we have talked about a possible Skull Clamp unban before, just and I'll say that I am curious also about like what it would look like in Modern, because I've like most people, my only experience with Skull Clamp is in Cube, but it is certainly not a very safe card to unban. Skull Clamp is stronger than Glimpse. Yeah, I think so too. I think it's one of these like just. It's also you can get it off Urza Saga. Let's just not touch that card, please. Yeah, I just can't let them go Ketramos into Phoenix. Not a Finance Channel Spies. I own 0 Death Threat Shaman though. So I guess I Asmo itself so they don't gain 3 life. Good chance we're just going to need to top deck a Goryo's. Goryo's, Asmo, maybe Saga. You can't be Monument, but maybe like land into Monument gets us there still. Oh my gosh, that's the wrong thing. Okay, so there's 3 life for you, so now Goryo's isn't lethal. And now the guide gets triggered. Sorry about that. That's now if I draw the Goryos and I just can't kill them, it's gonna be so embarrassing. Okay, not quite as embarrassing, still a little bit. I'm just gonna go ahead and F6 here. Yeah, Asmo should be able to target itself. So now they can go Escape Flage with Detectives Phoenix. So I'm down to 14, and then I'm down another 11. So I go to 1. Go to 1. Yeah, what's the Omen board wipe? Maybe I've miscounted also. 11. Yeah, I'd go to 1. Yeah, Astrolabe would be a really silly unban, I think. It was Astrolabe is very innocuous, but it is just a game-breaking card. Like, there's just like no such thing as color pie. I think Ponder would be pretty safe. My big issue with Ponder though is that turns take too long with it, but it's kind of a minor criticism. Okay, so I like Molten Collapse in these matchups because it can like kill creature and kill relic for 2 mana. I think I want to bring in the Shadowspear also. So I'm going to go minus a Thoughtseize, an Amber, and a Daredevil. They need to make one more cut. Another one of these. Yeah, also Opal Enabler, but Uro is good, but is it better with Flage and Arena? I believe that Uro is much better than Flage, yeah. Or, yeah, like a whole tier above. Like, on turn 2, you can just go Uro, land into play, consign to memory your Uro trigger. Uro, it's in play. You can Malevolent Rumble over your Uro and grab a different card against counterspell decks. Not that counterspells are that good against Uro, but you can Shifting Woodland to copy your Uro and attack. Uro is also not bad in no matchups. Uro is something that against like combo decks, big mana decks, it is both pressuring your opponents and it's drawing you into interaction, and it's giving you mana to hold up counterspells sometimes, where Flage is pretty bad against big mana and combo decks. And so, like, as much as I also want to play with Uro because that card is really fun to cast, it would be immediately the best card draw spell in Modern. And I'll say this too, Modern has been way more fun now that there isn't one obvious best card draw spell. Like, it is really fun to figure out, like, does my deck want Jace the Mind Sculptor, Monument to Endurance, Psychic Frog, Stock Up, Malevolent Rumble? I guess Rumble's different. But you know what I mean? It's like, it's cool to figure out what the best card advantage engine is for your shell. This is a dynamic that I have liked. You said the exact same thing about looting. I certainly didn't say that it was good with Consign and Malevolent Rumble. I said that looting was a very dangerous card to unban, and I think it was a dangerous card to unban. I certainly didn't say the exact same thing. But you can engage with my points if you want, and I can respond. But I don't really know what you mean. Pretty good. Yeah, for the second time somehow this stream, yes, I do believe unbanning Skull Clamp is unreasonable. So you play Saga turn 1 so you can get Cookbook to either enable Goryo or Griselbrand or just enable your Monument. You do this basically every time. Good draw. Obosh into hand. It's good news for me. Yeah, we saw the new green, so I can get Asmo also. So hoping for a looting or a cookbook. If not, we can just cast the monument this turn, and then we get another something. Only 2 Surveil lands in this build. Did I consider Tasigur? No. What would Tasigur do in this deck? Can't even activate it. Spike said it would be the best card in for band. Yeah, I mean, and that's not what I said about Uro. I said it would be the best card advantage spell in band. And I was wrong that looting was not the best card in Modern. I'm glad to be wrong about it. Did I see Prof's new video? No. Yeah, I'm glad I was wrong about looting, but I certainly think we can all agree that looting was I don't know. I was scared of the looting unbanned, but thankfully it ended up being fine. So maybe they just cast Obosh next turn with haste, and then I take 6 plus 4 down to 10. I could win if I draw a discard outlet. Okay. Right after I Molten Collapsed. Yeah, also, yeah, that's true. If looting was the only card unbanned, it probably would have been the best card in Modern if looting was only unbanned. Maybe I was right the whole time, huh? But looting and Opal unbanned is just maybe a different world, I don't know. Okay, so here's our Molten Collapse. It's kind of interesting. I'm dead to it. I'm dead to land though, because they just go haste Obosh and then they jump the Obosh and kill me. not trophying. Let's get a 4-1 prediction going. At the very least, okay, I'm gonna keep this. I think I just gotta figure out what I'm putting back. But yeah, I think Obosh for me is just the only perfect one. I think I'm gonna put back Cookbook and go Thoughtseize and hope I find a land off looting, which seems pretty reasonable. We also have 2 draw steps. Yeah, but also like you don't really like. In my opinion, Dredge is a deck that is pretty bad when it's good, or like bad for the format when it's good. Maybe I should say. My friend Jaren, who I still do see like pretty often, but he got into Modern. He built 2 decks, Dredge and Tron, and I could just see the life fading from his eyes. I could see the interest in the Modern format fading basically immediately as he realized that these decks were not very fun to play. And so after about 2 weeks, he pivoted over to Commander. I think I'm gonna cast the looting turn 1. I'm kind of scared of getting blown out by Bowmaster here. I might even just discard Asmo. We'll see. I mean, Garuda is only busted Legacy because LED exists. Yeah, sure. At the very least, I just have bad memories from the Garuda Legacy deck. I think the deck was even like just pretty underrated. I'll say. Well, good news we found Daredevil, Griselbrand. Bad news we don't have second land yet. Good news it was good to cast this looting. Surely playing Dredge and Tron is more fun than Commander. Not according to him. Boggart Bog. Dothy Voidwalker. Well, we already have the Griselbrand in the yard, thankfully. We draw the land? Without Spirit Guide. Well, I don't think Dredge ever played Spirit Guide, but maybe it should have. Like the Dredge is just a deck that's like it's some of the worst gameplay. It's pretty bad, I think, for the health of Magic the Gathering when Dredge is viable. I think the gameplay is really quite poor and pretty cool to be turn 2 Goryos and Emrakul on the draw against Thoughtseize and the Dothy Voidwalker. And in general, I think that, you know, Dredge is not a deck you should be actively trying to make better with your banlist decisions. So we got 8 Mox in the deck. None here. There's 1, 2. So what I really want to do is I want to cast Asmo, I want to cast Cookbook, I want to kill this Dothy Voidwalker. So we just need to find 1 more Mox to do that. We're going to go down to 3, which is not the highest life total. We did find the Mox, although... Okay, so yeah, we cast Cookbook, and that's going to give us Metalcraft. And yet here WotC is pushing Tron and Eldrazi. Yeah, I mean, I agree that like pushing Tron and Eldrazi is also not the best thing to do, but you know, I think that just trying to also stay away from like what about this, what about that for anything in life is it's just easier too. I think it's just easy to go, yeah, I think Dredge probably shouldn't be. Okay, that was a misclick, but it was or an unintentional click, but it was the right card. It's kind of scary. I think it just takes more effort almost to go, well, what about this, you know? It almost takes more effort. Commander, is it real magic? Commander is real magic. In fact, it is the most popular form of magic that exists. There's no form of magic that is more or less real than any other ones. That's the beautiful thing about this game, is that everybody enjoys to play it in a different way, and it's, I think, really cool to see all the different ways that the same game can be played. There's no need to gatekeep Magic the Gathering. That is the beautiful part, is that it is a game that anybody can enjoy and can be played in a lot of different ways. Let's go to second Thoughtseize. Do I want to Goryo's Sheoldred? I guess Goryo's Sheoldred and casting Mox or Monument's pretty good. Yeah, also, if anybody bad talks Tiny Leaders, it's obviously an insta-ban. Hopefully no Mountain Lightning Bolt. Another copy of Dathi Voidwalker. Should be fine. Ah, they're Necro. Okay, less fine that I don't have an Asmo, I guess. I think I still just kill them with the monuments. So we go... Draw for turn. It's not a bad draw either. Saga. Goryo, Sheoldred. And this turns on the Mox Amber, so I can cast this monument. And then just discard on my turn, discard on my opponent's turn is lethal. What do they have off the Dathi Voidwalker? They have a Goryo's, an Asmo. And this will be exiled, so they won't have a Sheoldred. We might as well cast the Looting, though. Just need to make sure I'm not discarding a Sheoldred. I know I could attack. We don't have lethal without the attack. Aren't they dead without attacking? Or with attacking? Yeah, I'm just thinking this out, y'all. I'm sorry that it's not taking me zero seconds, but... I do understand that we have lethal. I'm just trying to think about the best way to do this. We have a lot of extra resources as well. Like they have a card, or they have a Dathi Voidwalker. So I'm just making sure we're not screwing ourselves. My opponent's also not F6, so I can't execute things super duper fast. Here I could even play a second monument. If I go Opal, Amber, discard Daredevil, let's say, make a treasure token. Kenny Darko, the 22 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Yeah, they could have like March in there as their last card, but then I guess that wouldn't be enough to save them. Yeah, we're here anyways. Let's cast the second monument. No! Okay, sorry, we still have lethal. Sorry. A little bit too dramatic. I meant to sack this treasure token and cast the monument. You know, this was on the draw against Thoughtseize into Dathi Voidwalker into Dathi Voidwalker plus Sheol. Okay, so Sheoldred's exiled to the Goryos and not the Dathi Voidwalker. So if they somehow can gain 3 life here with like a Cling to Dust, then they get another turn, maybe. Okay. I knew you were going to do that when you were floating. So say something next time, I guess. Okay, so Withering Torment hits Dathi Voidwalker, Leyline, and Necro, so seems like a good one to grab. Have I needed to target my own Griselbrand with Asmo to gain 6 life yet? No, but I should remember that that's a thing. I forgot that we can do that. Good call out. Okay, I'm going to go pee real quick.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
Let's mulligan. It's a nice looking hand. Let's keep. Could be better actually to have put back the Blood Crypt, because then we're at 18 instead of 16. Probably okay. You really tried to punt this game through. I mean, what I did would end up being exactly the same as just having passed it originally. Right, so they take the Goryos, not too surprising. If my opponent has double Dothi Voidwalker, it could be better to cast Cookbook turn 1. If I draw Goryos, I'll probably cast Cookbook turn 1. Okay, I drew a second Griselbrand instead, so we'll cast the Thoughtseize. So they have a Trawler, a Push, a Fell the Profane, and a Necro. Okay, easy Necro. The new Snapcaster off Coco with 5th lane is very nice. Yeah, it's also kind of interesting with Chord. Although if you're playing those, those cards, then you're not going to have that many things to flash back besides the targets. So kind of interesting if you can even start to build the deck that way. All right, so they surveil a card to the top. Hopefully not another Necro. Good draw. This is going to get pushed. Oh, they didn't push? I think it was kind of nice because this could clear the way for a Saga token. Surely they're not going to just cast a Necro if they're not going to push. Maybe they just misplayed somehow. Looks like a Necro. I guess it could be like Dothi plus push. Okay, so push plus Emperor of Bones. Oh, no. Okay, so we could draw Goryo's our Asmo, or we could probably just pack it in. Yeah, I don't have the emotional maturity to let my opponent take my Emperor of Bones, or my Griselbrand, so let's pack it in. I could Needle Emperor. Would not have saved us that game, would have been a little too slow. I think I'm just going to try to play around it. Let's try this one. Yeah, they've got a lot of graveyard hate, but thankfully you've got a lot of plan Bs and ways we can fight through all of it in theory. That was pretty close. I think I'm just going to graveyard it. We'll get the value. There's a pretty good chance I'm going to want to surveil next turn anyways, so that I can go turn 3 Saga, Withering Torment, Necro, or Dothi Voidwalker, and yeah, well, goodbye looting. I didn't think that they would also have Relic. I kind of don't know how they also have Relic in their deck, to be honest. They haven't seen any white mana, so I'm assuming they're not a Ketramos deck. So now we're going to play the Saga. So I can play Monument to play around Grave Hate. Oh, sorry, not Grave Hate. Thoughtseize. Did I see already about Breach Ban confirmation? I don't think there was a Breach Ban confirmation, my friend. And if it is, the ban announcement is in 1 week. I don't believe that there is. What is your source for the breach ban confirmation? It does seem incredibly likely it's going to get banned, though. This is a very, I think, pretty predictable that it's likely to happen. Prof's video already doing work. I mean, I love the professor. I think a video from our friend the professor saying that he thinks breach will get banned is not a confirmation. I also think breach is going to get banned. I think it's one of the more predictable bans of all time. I'll say this: I love the prof. He's not who I would go to in general for my modern format assessments. Although I guess I just go to myself, I guess. Very humble. I mean, I just play Modern full time, so I you know what I mean. I don't really go to anybody for takes. Breach is dying for Opal Sins. Well, Breach sure is one of the worst design cards of all time. We'll see. I think it's interesting to ban Breach and then see what the format looks like. Personally. Doesn't Jesse work for With Prof? Well, Jesse also doesn't work for Wizards. Swiper with the 4 months. Thank you. Welcome back. The title of the video is Breach has been banned, posted 1 week in advance. It seems people are not watching it. Yeah, probably. Kind of hard for them to tap out. If they do, we could maybe Goryos. Think about banning Amulet these days are Titan. I've been in favor of an Amulet ban actually for over a year, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem like the Wizards is that interested in doing it. But I've been in some. I think Amulet of Vigor is too strong. I think it does too much for too little mana. It leads to pretty I think the deck is too fast, too consistent, too resilient. And I'd be interested in a ban, and I've been interested in a ban for a while. But if Wizards hasn't banned it by this point, I don't know what threshold the deck needs to hit, you know what I mean? Just ban Titan. Well, people sure do want to do anything besides ban the problem card when it comes to this. For whatever, you know what I mean? Amulet is the 1 mana card that makes 10 mana. Amulet, it seems to be the problem card. Amulet is the card that enables the turn 2 wins. If Titan was banned, the deck would genuinely not be much worse, which is crazy to say, I know. But if Titan was banned instead, you would just be a Cultivator, Colossus, Aftermath Analyst, Lumra deck. I don't know that the deck gets much worse without Titan, funny enough. You should post your own video tonight titling Amulet has been banned, posted a week early. Maybe. I mean, I genuinely don't think that they will, but I do think that they should. Which maybe people have a hard time grasping are different things. I was hoping they would take the bait and I could Goryos in response. I guess we don't sack a clue now, because if I draw another Goryos, we could get this in play, maybe. We draw a card first. Interesting card. Need to hit a land, but if we hit a land, we can go discard, deal 5, and then we can go on our opponent's turn, cookbook, deal 3. Looks pretty close to lethal, if not quite lethal. So they soul spike my Bobo, pitching 2 push, and then they're going to block. It's not so bad for me. Feeling pretty good about our spot, even. They're not going to block. Okay, they're not going to block. So this is probably a mistake. I might have lethal again. I think I've did 2 lands for lethal. Okay, so there's 2 lands. Okay, so I can go deal you 5 down to 8. Sorry, to 6. I keep thinking it's only 2 damage. Too much seismic assault, I guess. So 6 down to 7. And then I can go put them down to 4, and then I can cookbook them down to 1. I don't think 1 is 0. However, and I don't even need to use this cookbook necessarily, but just making it to where a Necro doesn't do anything if they top deck it this is almost certainly correct to make it to where a Necro is just a do nothing. Nice double relic Voidwalker Trawler against my Goryos deck. I guess Humans was the only best deck that never ate a ban. I don't think that's the case exactly. I think there have been several meta shifts for decks that have become worse. Also, I'll say this about Humans. Humans was always way more popular in paper than on Magic Online. The win rate on Magic Online was always much lower than in paper for humans, and that's a dynamic I always thought was kind of interesting. Though Soul Spike and Bobby was weird, why not face? Yeah, I think they didn't think about it that much. I think they thought they were going to block, which they should have. Yeah, people really love the deck. I agree. But I just always thought that dynamic was really interesting. All right, let's run it back. Pretty good first league. Just sort.